This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
We often don't know what we're capable of until a tragedy tests our limits. I'm William Shatner. Tonight, true stories of men, women, and children confronting situations they've never faced before on Rescue 911. We begin on July 3rd, 1990, in Valdez, Alaska, an area where nature's untamed beauty often attracts visitors with a sense of adventure.
Alaska is really incredible. It's just unbelievably beautiful. The wildness of it, the freedom of it.
All right, guys, don't look nervous. Smile. All right.
It was supposed to be an hour of fun for the 6 friends, whitewater rafting down the Low River. Chris Walker had organized the trip.
It was a beautiful day. And we got all suited up, and we were all just real happy and having a good time.
This is like when we used to put our snowsuits on when we were kids.
I was the only one out of the group that had rafted before, and we were all really excited about it.
The upstream tube wants to get sucked in by the river. And for some reason...
Kristen Ellingson did have some second thoughts about the outing.
The rivers here are frightening because they're cold. They usually run off of glaciers, and they can be fast and turbulent and lots of rocks. But I thought, well, okay, I'm not going to wimp out on my friends here.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We were upriver pretty far, where it was nice and calm.
Yeah, let's go forward.
Forward. Uh-oh. By the time we get out, I might get the hang of it. Stop.
We're going along, just enjoying the scenery. The water's getting rougher, and, you know, it's getting fun and exciting.
The guide had warned us that going underneath the bridges was the hard part. It seemed all of a sudden we were really going fast.
We came around a curve, and it started getting very turbulent. And the guide was yelling at us, dig in.
Somebody was yelling that somebody was under the raft.
I hung on to the raft for a long time. I felt like that was my only means of survival. But the current was pulling me too much, so I finally had to let go. The water was just sucking me down in, and then it would just spit me up enough to get a breath of air. The river was totally in control.
When we continue,
After 3 minutes in 36-degree water, you can see the first signs of hypothermia. When the core temperature drops too low, you can die.
When their raft crashed into a bridge pillar and flipped over, a group of 6 women, most of whom had never been rafting before, and their guide, were thrown into the swift-moving river with water temperatures near freezing.
You couldn't swim in the river because it was moving so fast. It just carried you.
I remember either thinking or yelling, "God, get me out of this." And it seemed like the next instant, I was over in a calm spot.
the guide and several of the rafters managed to make it to shore. Laura Bullock was one of the lucky ones.
The coldness just didn't hit me until I was actually out of the water. It was difficult just to climb up to the embankment.
Cindy Phelps was also swept into a shallow area at the river's edge.
By then, you're just so worn out. You're just exhausted from fighting with the river. You're going, I made it. I've come through this. I'm still alive.
But then I realized that Joan, Kristen, and Mary Lee were still in the water.
Mike Buck, who owned the rafting company, happened to be in the area on his way out of town.
As I was driving out the road, I thought, well, we got a 4 o'clock trip. I might see those guys as I drive through the canyon.
Oh, my God.
All I saw was the people and no raft. It was just unbelievable to me. We'd only had one flip in 9 years.
Our guide had grabbed the rope from the boat.
Grab the rope! Go!
Kristen missed it. I just thought, oh, she's missed her chance. You know, it just really put fear into me.
I yelled to come up and get in the van and drive me down the river.
Go!
After 3 minutes in 36-degree water, you can see the first signs of hypothermia.
Once your body temperature starts to drop, you're going to start losing consciousness. You're going to start losing use of your limbs.
When the core temperature drops too low, you can die.
Okay, pull over this next corner.
The river's so fast, I knew I was going to have to use the kayak.
A member of a local kayaking team, Mike had competed in races internationally.
Hey, get down there quick, here they come.
This time, Kristen managed to grab a throw line.
Come in.
As As I started putting the spray skirt on, Mary Lee and Joan were floating by. Didn't even have time to put my life jacket or helmet on. I was a little worried about leaving her there. But Mary Lee was so far out ahead that I was just afraid that I might not find her.
After 10 minutes in the icy waters, 34-year-old Joan Tate was finally safe on dry land.
I continued to climb on up until I was completely out of the water. It took me a while to do that because my fingers were so numb. Once I reached the road, the van showed up. I wasn't shivering, and I couldn't imagine. I kept thinking, why am I not cold? But I was past shivering. That's how hypothermic I was.
They brought Joan in, and Cindy, and Kristen.
People reached out for me and were hugging me and holding blankets around me. But the bottom dropped out on me when I didn't see Mary Lee's face. She's a real dear person to me, and I felt like she might be dead.
I was paddling just as hard as I could possibly go. I was just scanning the river the whole time, looking for that orange life jacket. I was coming up to Bridalveil Falls, and in that area the waves aren't quite as big, so you can get a pretty good look. And finally spotted her. She was floating with her head just barely above water. I could see that she was still conscious as I came up to her, which really surprised me, actually, because she'd been in the water for a long time. Anytime you've been in the water that long, your hands get very, very cold. It's real difficult to hang on to anything. I was just hoping that she had the strength and the wherewithal to hang onto the kayak so that I could get her ashore.
finally got 41-year-old Mary Lee Hayes to shore. She had been in the near-freezing water for 15 minutes.
It seemed like forever till the van got down there, and I'm sure it was just a couple of minutes. She was in a hypothermic state, and we needed to get her warmed up as quick as possible.
You got her? You all right? Huh? Get over the van.
I saw them carrying her across the road. I didn't know if she was alive or not.
And all of a sudden the door to the van sort of slid open, and there she was.
She had really bad color. She was confused. She kept saying that she couldn't see.
People around. You got 6 people here. I'm counting. Gratis. Yes.
She looked terrible, but she was alive. I knew she was alive.
I'll take him to the hospital. You meet me there.
And I knew that we were going to have one heck of a story to tell.
Oh, what a ride.
By the time Mary Lee was put in the van, everyone else on the raft had already been rescued. She was treated for hypothermia at a local hospital and released the same day. A year has passed since the incident, but the memories are still vivid. Some of the women have already been rafting, but others, like Mary Lee Hayes, will never go out on the water again.
That feeling of being alone in the river was the most frightening thing I've ever been through. I wasn't thinking that there was any way out of it. At that point, I saw an angel come. He was very bright and had a blonde hair and a big smile. I remember the smile just tremendously. And he said, "Can you take hold of the kayak?" Mike Buck is a very special person to me. I know in my heart that he saved my life.
The timing was unbelievable. It was really a miracle that I was there at the right place with all the right equipment.
Definitely affirmed the way I already believe about life. That life is good, and it's very good when you get pulled out of a river.
The angels were definitely with us that day. There's no question about it. They were definitely with us.
Next.
I was like, well, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. I didn't think anything like real serious would happen.
Monday, February 12th, 1990 was President's Day. For kids, it meant an extra chance to enjoy a day off from school. And that's exactly what a group of boys in Aurora, Illinois were doing at the home of one of their friends.
We were just having an average sleepover, basically partying down.
I do tend to stay at home with my children and be there for them and bake the cookies and do the room mother bit. But I've also learned that you can't be everywhere with your child. Once that child is out of diapers and they're going to school, you do have to let go somewhat.
Give me a hug and be good, okay? Give me a hug.
Marcia Oliver left her youngest son, Fletcher, alone inside the house watching television, while 9-year-old Tristan and his 11-year-old brother, Leighton, played outside with their friends.
I'm going to the store. Okay, stay off at the garage.
Yeah, okay.
I waved goodbye in the car and told the children I'd be back in about 15 minutes. They're achievers in school. They make good grades. They're not troublemakers. Occasionally we find one up a tree and we have to pull them down. But I wouldn't trade raising boys for anything in the world.
Hey, you guys! Stand right here! Follow me!
There, take this. Get some logs. What are you gonna do? What do you want? Right about here.
One of the boys at the Olivers' house that day was 13-year-old Jim Morello.
Leighton decided to quit playing war and to start fires by his fort. Leighton's the kind of guy who likes to take risks. He does things that normally I wouldn't do, and I'm a lot bigger than him.
Tristan Oliver also went along with his older brother's plan.
Actually, I didn't think much of what was going to happen. We just started putting those sticks, pine cones, leaves, all sorts of stuff. Leighton thought of the gasoline.
Not too many.
Yeah, school trip just in case Jim was going to Pretty dumb idea. No. Mom will kill us if she finds out. Don't worry, she won't be back for a while.
I was like, well, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. I didn't think anything like real serious would happen because he was using just a little amount of gasoline.
Could get in trouble. Don't worry about it. Say so, but I ain't getting busted for it.
The flames would get maybe 1 to 1.5 feet high. We'd step on it or put it out or flip it over so no one would get hurt.
I just thought it was kind of fun because we just put the fire out. And they said, well, this isn't enough gasoline. It's not building up at all.
We'll make a bigger one. Put the pot back. That's it. So we're just gonna use a little bit, okay? Don't worry about it. Wait till I get back to this gas stuff. We'll put it out.
Darling! Leighton was waving his arms, and I told him to drop on the ground. 3 weeks beforehand in home economics, I learned to put a fire blanket or any kind of covering over anybody who was on fire.
Jimmy smothered the flames on Leighton. And I just thought fire opposite water. Took him over to the faucet and turned the water on.
I went to the back door, which was locked, and I remember that Mrs. Oliver said to go through the front door if we needed anything. So I went inside and called 911.
Jim's call came into the Aurora 911 Communications Center.
911.
It was all like a dream. It happened so fast.
Ambulance needed 834 West Main.
834 West Main. Different explosion. A child is on fire running down the roadway. Medics are...
Rescue units with the Aurora Fire Department were immediately dispatched to the scene. Paramedic Joe Bartholomew was among those who responded.
Children have curiosity about fire. The problem with playing with gasoline is that they don't understand what's going to happen. The vapors spread out, and all that vapor will ignite. And there's no way that you could put that gas can down in time before it explodes.
His chest looked like wax, like he was a wax figure and someone just lit him in the middle of his body.
I just stayed with Leighton, crying my eyes out, just worrying about him. I thought that Leighton would die, for sure.
We heard Engine 7 go on the scene maybe a minute to 30 seconds prior to our arrival. They called back and said that definitely we have the kid and that we're going to need all the burn packs.
All right, we got an ambulance coming. Easy, stay down.
The water has a ability of pulling the heat out. And if you can pull the heat out as quick as possible, you're going to lessen the degree of the burn.
Paramedic trainee Tony Nelson was assisting in the ambulance that day.
You could have heard him down the block. He probably still felt like he was on fire. This is the worst case I've ever seen. We couldn't start an IV on him because all the normal sites for us, they were compromised already from the burns.
He had a polyester sweatshirt on. It just keeps burning and melts as it burns. It becomes a hard, crusty material. So you have to get it away from the body as quick as possible. And the hard problem is getting through it.
Come on, hang in there. here. Don't let him go.
He wanted to know if he was going to die. It wasn't my job to tell him that he wasn't going to die, but I couldn't tell him anything else. I couldn't hold him. I couldn't hold his hands. I couldn't give him anything to grab because his hands hurt so bad. All I could do was just soak him down and tell him, if you feel like screaming, you go ahead and scream. He did. And he said some things a little boy shouldn't say, but in his situation and the pain that he was in, I would not hold it against him.
At Mercy Center Hospital, Leighton was treated by a trauma team, including nurse Linda Hemmingson.
We really felt a tremendous sadness, that feeling that he was burned so severely that he probably wasn't going to make it. We all go home and hug our kids a little bit extra when we've gone through something like that.
As soon as Leighton's mother got back to the house, she was rushed to the hospital.
I thought Leighton was in terminal condition and was about to die. So I did want to say a few words to him.
Hi, sweetie, it's all right. No one's angry. It's just an accident.
If my son saw me hysterical in there, he would know the extent of the damage. So I kept myself in control till I got out of the room. There was plenty of time to cry later, believe me.
While Leighton was airlifted the 30 miles to the nearest burn unit at Loyola University Medical Center, his parents could not go with him and had to drive themselves.
I don't really remember a lot of the conversation because one or the other of us would start to cry and couldn't see to drive the car. So we'd pull over and whoever's not driving gets in and drives again.
He was my son. He couldn't die. He's my firstborn. I lost count of the amount of prayers I said, and very similar to saying, you know, please God, let me take some of his pain away from him.
Intubated number 6. He's got 2 liters of fluid on board.
I would ask them, what are the extent of the burns? They started at 40% full thickness burns and worked their way up to 65%. All Leighton had left was muscle on his neck and shoulders.
Looks like partial to full thickness on his face.
And we told the parents that he might die.
Dr. Diane Data was part of the medical team that treated Leighton.
The skin is a barrier to infection, and once it's destroyed from the burn, the patient can very easily get infected.
You just let us do the work.
Do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Hi, it's Dr. Rao again.
Leighton was placed in the intensive care unit and attached to a respirator. His family and friends began the tense wait to see if his body would be able to fight off infection.
His chest, both of his arms, and most of his face.
His mother does, she thought. But although she'd used the freshest frogs, the spell did not work.
I read to Leighton constantly when I was in the room. To hear my voice, I thought might soothe him a little bit. It was difficult because the one thing I wanted to do was pick him up off the mattress and hold him, and I couldn't do that. I really shouldn't have been touching him, although I did sneak a kiss on his toes every so often.
Miraculously, Leighton slowly recovered. He was transferred to Shriners Hospital in Cincinnati. There, he underwent a skin graft, and his life became a painful cycle of bandage changes and physical therapy. Before he could be released, his mother had to be trained to do the necessary daily therapy.
The thing that happens to a burn patient is they tend to contract downward. So you're always trying to extend their arms, extend their neck. He screamed just about straight through the exercises for about 4 or 5 months.
She just wouldn't let me quit. And she keeps me moving forward.
It's only been a year since Leighton Oliver was burned.
He's a gutsy boy, he really is. To make his arms move again, get his fingers moving again. He didn't think he'd be able to write again. He's got his, I suppose, that little bit of arrogance back, which is good.
My dad helped me learn meditation, and it relieved a lot of the pain. I do many sports I can get my hands on. I wrestle with my brothers, for instance. I'm just about as good as I was before. It's my usual everyday moves.
I don't know the name of his friend, but that's a friend for life because he saved him. If he hadn't have thought about what he was taught when we do our school drills with the kids of stop, drop, and roll, I think he'd be dead.
A lot of people think I'm a hero, but I don't think I am, because it was the first thing that went into my mind was to cover him with something.
Absolutely, he's a hero. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jimmy.
If there's one thing I've learned, it's that gasoline should be locked up just like the chemical pesticides. Children think they're immortal, and it doesn't wear off until they have a really terrible scare.
I'm taking flying lessons. I will probably be a pilot for flying kids like me back and forth to the Shriners, volunteering.
I see Layton's future as extremely bright.
Next, it's the night before Thanksgiving. We're out in the middle of the Everglades, 20 miles from any major highway.
On November 21st, 1990, in North Lauderdale, Florida, Dave O'Black returned home from a bar around 11 p.m. to tell his wife he was going fishing with a couple of friends. He picked up some beer and snacks and headed for the Everglades.
I was concerned mostly about him going in the Everglades. Whenever I think of Everglades, I think of alligators and, I don't know, just wild animals out there. There's no phones and crazy people. That's what you hear stories about the Everglades.
Unbelievable. Rick was driving, and Shane was in the middle between us, and he was just sleeping the whole time.
I got it.
Rick and I were friends for a couple years. We kind of share the same habits. We fish a lot.
How about you're driving out here, but I'm putting my seatbelt on.
While you're at it, put his on.
Shane came down to stay with my wife and I got to know him real well through those few weeks that he was with us.
Listen, give me another beer. You got your belt on or not? We're okay.
As soon as I got to the top of the water, I took a big gasp of air, and I went back down after my buddies. On my way down, I seen the truck, just more or less the shadow of the body, because there was very little light down there. Shane had a rude awakening from this water gushing in. It was just all of a sudden woke up, and he was on the bottom of the canal.
Hey, where's Rick?
Understanding Rick was down underneath somewhere, so we decided to go under. At that point, I felt a nudge in my back.
Let's get down, man.
When I saw Rick, I just wanted to hope that this is not what was going on, that this was just, I was still asleep. This was all a dream, but it wasn't. It was there. It was happening. And it scared me to death.
Come on, man, wake up, Rick.
I was yelling from the top of my lungs at him to wake up, and he wasn't moving.
Come on. Please. Come on.
We had no idea if he had broken bones, busted spine, so we knew we had to move him as least as possible. As soon as my eyes adjusted, I seen blood coming from his left ear. I didn't feel a pulse at that time, and I thought I was doing it wrong.
He ain't got nothing, man.
So I moved my hand around to readjust it, and again, I didn't feel anything.
Still nothing. Come on.
And at this point, I knew he was dead.
Dave began trying to do CPR on Rick as best he could remember it.
I knew he was there. I knew there was something way down deep inside, like a little voice box. And I knew if I'd wake that little voice box up, something would click in and say, hey, look, man, your friends are out there. Let's go back out and see them.
There he goes. Come on, Rick! Come on, man!
And he started choking, at which time he come around with a pulse and started breathing and grunting and showing lots of pain.
It was approximately maybe 10 till 2. It's the night before Thanksgiving. No hunters, no campers. We were out in the middle of the Everglades, 20 miles from any major highway.
I'll be back.
So I told Shane, I'm going to run for help. And I told him if he runs into any complications with Rick, just please do what I did and just try and keep him going.
When we continue,
I heard a large splash, and I was worried about the alligator situation with his legs being in the water.
When their pickup truck crashed in an isolated area of the Everglades, 3 friends were stranded, with one of them, Rick Johnson, in desperate need of emergency medical care. Dave O'Black decided the only hope of saving Rick's life was to run to get help at the nearest town more than 15 miles away.
I took off my boots because they were weighing me down, and I just set them down in the middle of the road just in case I didn't make it back, or just in case somebody came back there and could have flagged or seen Shane and Rick laying over there.
I'll be back, man. Couple hours. I'll be back.
The water in that area contains quite a bit of snakes and alligators, crocodiles, and I was worried about the alligator situation with his legs being in the water.
I seen a glow of light coming in one direction, and I decided to go that way because that was probably Fort Lauderdale.
Your mind plays tricks on you. The time gets longer and longer. 5 minutes seems like 20 minutes. 20 minutes seems like an hour.
It's all right. It's all right.
I felt quite a bit alone, knowing that Dave's running for help and could be back or couldn't be back.
I thought about turning around just briefly, but if I would have ran back that way, it's like running back to hell. I'd be senseless to do that, so I had to just keep going.
I heard a large splash, and I said, Rick, I don't know if you can hear me, but I hope you can. Don't move. Don't move your legs, and try to be as quiet as possible.
Finally, after a couple hours on my run, I noticed that there was a campfire to the left.
I need some help. Please, what do you want? Where'd you come from? What?
I was so relieved that I found help.
The 2 campers drove Dave back to where his boots were lying in the road. He had run more than 11 miles.
Right here. How's he doing? He's breathing. You all right? We'll get a flashlight.
That he was maintaining the same condition that he had when Dave left. And we looked for cuts and things on his head, and he was bleeding quite profusely from the ear. And he had a nice deep gash in his head that was bleeding quite a bit.
The campers drove to the nearest phone and called 911. Their call came in to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department at 5:15 a.m.
Hello? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, we got an accident out off 27, and it's kind of hard for me to explain where it's at. Okay, you know as you're going north, the car was coming down
get someone right out there.
A rescue unit from Everglades Hospital was dispatched, including paramedic Gene Shunk.
This is roughly 40 miles from our ambulance station. We knew time was of the essence. It was a little cool. We had no idea how long the patient had been in the water. We just knew it was a priority patient and we needed to get there.
More than 40 minutes after the call for help, the first official, Sheriff's Deputy Derek Savage, arrived on the scene.
Hang on, guys. Please here.
The subject appeared to be in very serious condition. Possibly broken bones, some internal bleeding. His color was very pale, and he was unresponsive to verbal commands.
Within minutes, the ambulance also got to the scene.
This is now going on 6 o'clock in the morning. Mechanism of injury tells us there's a good possibility that he could have spinal injuries, possible head injuries. Certainly he was suffering from hypothermia. We had to get him immobilized and get him out of there as soon as possible.
As soon as the helicopter arrived, Rick was loaded on board for the 20-minute flight to the hospital.
Rick's condition never changed. He was conscious, but not coherent. And I felt cold. I had that cold feeling. I was scared and shivering and just glad that everything was coming down, that we were getting the hell out of there, that we were going home.
I just felt tremendously relieved when that chopper took off and was rushing him to the hospital.
At Glades General Hospital, Rick was treated by Dr. Jose Pineda.
Rick did not know where he was or how long a period he was in the hospital. He did not recognize many things. One of our concerns was that he did suffer head injury.
But neither a serious skull fracture, a broken collarbone, nor cardiac arrest caused him any permanent injury.
Rick was destined to live a better than normal life because he's had a second chance at life that a lot of people never get.
Three months have passed since the accident which nearly cost Rick Johnson his life.
I don't remember the accident. I don't remember it happening at all or being in the hospital. Next thing I remember, the only thing I remember is being home 2 weeks after being in the hospital.
Lois Broadwell can't forget those who helped save her brother.
I'm so happy that Rick's alive today. So I'm real grateful things turned out like they did. My family is grateful to Dave, grateful for everything that's happened.
I can't say enough about Dave saving my life. There's not enough words I can say to thank him enough. He saved my life. If it wouldn't have been for him and Shane, I wouldn't have been here to talk to you.
You got that one a long ways.
Rick knows and Shane knows anytime they need help, I give them help, and vice versa with everybody else. It builds more of a strong friendship between all three of us, and we really do look up at each other.
I think Rick's very lucky. I think if Rick would have had his seatbelt on, he'd have been luckier. I'm glad I had mine on. If it wasn't for he and Dave putting mine on me, I probably would have been in the same circumstance.
I would not drink and drive again. The thing that scares me the most about what I did was I could have injured or killed two of my friends. And that would have hurt me more than the physical pain did.
We are that close to being, dead, and drinking and driving is completely out of my life. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Life's too short, it's too enjoyable to ruin it on something as stupid as this.
In order to perform life-saving techniques effectively, you need training. There are courses available through the American Red Cross and the American Heart Association. This series is dedicated to all the men, women, and children who know what to do in an emergency and are there when we need them most. I'm William Shatner. Join us again next week for more true stories on Rescue 911.